We're now seeing driverless Tesla Model Ys cruising through the streets of Austin, Texas. Not long after that, new updates are emerging about Tesla's AI5 full self-driving computer, the expected upgrade to the current AI4 system used in Tesla vehicles today. This upcoming AI5 chip might start production before the end of 2025, a recent leak, shared by the website Not a Tesla App, gives us more details about how the chip might be manufactured and how powerful it could be. Tesla is apparently working with both Samsung and TSMC to bring this chip to life. Right now, Samsung makes the AI4 chip, also called Hardware 4, so it makes sense that they'd be involved again. But Tesla might want extra production partners to help produce enough chips for more vehicles. This talk about AI5 brings up new questions, like what's happening with Hardware 3, how much better AI5 will be compared to AI4, and when buyers can actually expect Tesla vehicles with AI5 chips installed. To go back a bit, Hardware 3 came out in 2019. Funny enough, my first Tesla, the Model 3, had Hardware 2.5 in it. But since I had bought the full self-driving FSD software, Tesla upgraded my car to Hardware 3 at no extra cost. That upgrade was easy for Tesla to do because they had planned it like that. It just needed a quick computer swap. Hardware 3 had around 144 TOPS, trillions of operations per second. Jump to 2023, and Tesla started rolling out Hardware 4, also known as AI4, into its new vehicles. AI4 boosted performance to around 500 TOPS, which is about 5 times more powerful than Hardware 3. It also came with improved cameras, better heat management, and more backup systems for safety. Tesla has talked about Hardware 5, AI5, for a while now, and the leaked timeline always pointed to late 2025. Interestingly, that timeline seems to be accurate, or at least pretty close. AI5 is expected to bring performance somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500 TOPS again, roughly a 5 times increase over AI4, just like AI4 was 5 times better than Hardware 3. So compared to Hardware 3, AI5 would be nearly 20 times more powerful. Now, is 2,500 TOPS impressive? On paper, yes. For context, the RTX 5080 GPU has about 1,800 TOPS, and the super high-end RTX 5090, the strongest consumer graphics card right now, sits at around 3,400 TOPS, but the AI5 chip is purpose-built. It's designed specifically by Tesla, for Tesla, to run their neural networks for self-driving. So, although the 5090 has more raw power, it's not a fair comparison. Think of it like comparing a high-end desktop PC to a PS5. Sure, a powerful PC can do a lot more than a PS5, but the PS5 is made to do just one thing, run games, and it does that really well. Same with Tesla's chip. It's built only to run their full self-driving system, not dozens of other apps or tasks like a regular computer chip. That said, my PC is still way better than a PS5, but still, Tesla's chips don't just go into cars. They're also going into robots like Optimus. So they have to be efficient and not use too much power. Tesla has to strike a balance. If the AI5 chip uses a lot of electricity, then it'll drain the EV battery faster. Elon Musk actually spoke about this during the 2024 shareholder meeting, saying AI5 would probably consume around 700 to 800 watts. That's a big jump from what AI4 uses. Elon also mentioned back then that Hardware 3 still had a lot of potential, and that it could still do well. But he made it clear it would be on a separate path from AI4, which we now see in newer Teslas. With all that extra performance, AI5 will also need a stronger cooling system than AI4. That makes me think, and I'm just guessing here, that it probably won't be easy, or even possible, to upgrade an AI4 car to a i5 later on. If AI4 is good enough to handle full self-driving, including driving with no human in the seat like we're seeing in Austin, then technically an upgrade wouldn't be necessary. Still, AI5 cars will obviously be more capable. That's just how technology moves forward. I've been talking for over a year about expecting AI5 to launch soon. Tesla has hinted at it for a while, and now it looks like it's really happening. I thought it might get delayed, typical Tesla, and show up in 2026, but with all the recent leaks, we might actually see production begin in late 2025 as planned. The leaks suggest that production and implementation in customer vehicles are not too far away. One big impact of all this performance is lower latency. In self-driving, low latency matters a lot. The car has to make decisions in real time, and more TOPS help reduce delay. So AI5's performance gains won't just be about bragging rights. They'll mean smoother and safer autonomous driving. If you're thinking about buying a Tesla and you don't absolutely need a car right now, I'm leaning toward telling people to wait for AI5. Yes, current prices are good. The refreshed Model Y is a great vehicle. If you need a car now, go for it. But if you don't care about the latest tech, you're probably not watching this anyway, so never mind. Still, if you do care, I'd suggest holding off. Waiting another 6 to 12 months to get an i5 might be worth it, especially since most people keep their cars for 5 to 10 years. Waiting for small things, like new seats or slightly better range, isn't really worth it. Tesla constantly improves those details anyway. But the self-driving chip is different. It's special. That's the brain of the vehicle, and those upgrades only happen every few years. Now, about Hardware 3. Not long ago, Tesla said there'd be a way to upgrade Hardware 3 to Hardware 4, but I told people not to get their hopes up. While I do believe Tesla will eventually do what's needed to get Hardware 3 cars capable of unsupervised FSD, they're going to take their time. They'll also offer as many incentives as possible to get people to trade in their old cars for ones with newer hardware. That way, they don't have to upgrade as many old cars. The truth is, the longer Tesla waits, the fewer Hardware 3 cars will still be on the road. People will upgrade for other reasons: newer features, design, battery life, not just FSD. Once those older cars are gone, that's one less customer asking for a retrofit. In my opinion, Tesla should still support Hardware 3 owners. They were the early adopters who believed in Tesla before it was popular. But it's clear the company would rather avoid those upgrades if it can. That said, I do believe Tesla is still obligated to get those cars to unsupervised self-driving, even if they stall on the path to get their DOT. So what about i5 upgrades for i4 vehicles? I don't think it'll happen, mainly because of cooling needs, but also because Tesla will say AI4 is good enough. They've always said that every car they sell is capable of full self-driving. So if AI4 delivers on that promise, they don't owe anyone an upgrade. Tesla will always keep improving their vehicles and computers. In 10 years, we'll have a i6 or a i7 cars driving around while a i5 cars are still on the road. Future upgrades will likely focus more on efficiency, safety redundancy, and easier manufacturing. But i5 is still a big leap, one that sets a new bar. Now here's the tricky part. Older hardware may not live up to Tesla's original promises. They've said since Hardware 2 that all cars were capable of full self-driving, but they were wrong. Hardware 2 wasn't enough. Neither was 2.5. Then they moved to Hardware 3, then 4. Now we're at AI5. So did Tesla finally get it right with AI4? Are all AI4 vehicles truly capable of unsupervised full self-driving? That's the question. We might find out soon. But it's clear Tesla always believed they had the answer, and every time, the answer turned out to be not quite. But my opinion has changed lately. After seeing actual driverless Tesla vehicles operating in downtown Austin, I think we're finally there. Maybe it'll take a few more months to go wider, but it's happening. Whether it's 2 months or a year. The future is here. The robots are arriving. Another thing Tesla might do, and I hope I'm not giving them any ideas, is release a launch edition of AI5 vehicles. Like the Founders Editions we've seen for the new Model Y or the Cybertruck. They might not say directly that it costs more because it has AI5, but instead bundle it into some fancy special edition package. We're already seeing AI4-powered Model Ys driving around Austin with no driver. Elon said they're unmodified, coming right off the line at Giga, Texas. So I'm 99% sure, though not absolutely certain, that those cars are still running. AI4, AI5 production likely hasn't started just yet. Here's another interesting point. The CyberCab is coming soon. And it might be designed only for AI5. There may not even be an AI4 version of the CyberCab. It could launch right from the beginning with AI5. That would make sense. What's good is that the CyberCab shown at the event had the same camera layout as AI4. When Tesla moved from hardware 3 to 4, they mostly kept the same camera positions, but upgraded the actual cameras, better resolution, better night vision, and so on. Now, with the jump to AI5, the question is, will cameras change again? Placement? Quality? Quantity? We've already seen the new front bumper camera added. That camera is clearly meant for self-driving, especially on a vehicle like the CyberCab, with no pedals or steering wheel. So it's very possible that Tesla adds more cameras, maybe even ones people have been asking for, like side-facing cameras near the headlights. I've wanted those too. The B-pillar cameras are okay, but more coverage is always better. We want robotaxis to be better than human drivers, to see in all directions at once and pull off moves no human could. One more thing I want to mention. When AI4 first came out, it was actually worse than Hardware 3 for a while. AI4 vehicles didn't get all the software updates right away. They lagged behind.